Hey everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to go over the market averages first because that's what's on pretty much everybody's mind. Everybody wants to know, are we bottoming? Or is there going to be a potential another leg down? So I want to go over the current market action and just give you my take on what the probabilities are going forward. Then I want to get into another sector. Another sector, surprisingly, has a bunch of stocks that are making new highs today. And you would think with the market action over the last several weeks, there would be no sector with a bunch of stocks making new highs, but there definitely is one out there. And I want to go over some of those names because if this is in fact a bottom, this sector most likely is going to be the one that is the leader coming out of it. But and then after that, I'm going to get into the trades that I made today, so make sure you stick around for that. Now, before I get into this chart, if you do want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon group. The link is down there in the description. It's only $10 a month, so if you want to join our little trading group, I'm in the Discord every single day, and before every market open, I tried to make a video for the Patreon page, just to let you know what is on my watch list and if I see anything significant in the market. And also, if you don't mind liking the smash button, I would really appreciate that. But please remember, not a financial advisor. All this is for entertainment purposes only. Please make all of your own trading decisions. But with all that said, let's get into this market chart here. This is the daily chart for the QQQ, which of course is the NASDAQ. And as we can see, we're having a little bit of an inside day here. I expected us to be making a new high today, and that is not what happened. When the market was pulling back, I did buy some calls on the QQQ, and it looks like they're, I'm up a little bit in them right now, but, I'm really expecting to break the high from yesterday. If we can't get above the high from yesterday, tomorrow, then probably the market is in big trouble. One of these inside days, they don't bother me too much after a major reversal, but we have to get above the previous day's high the next day, or odds favor we're probably going to be rolling over again. And if that happens, I'm going to end up taking a bath on some of those call options that I just bought today. But honestly, all in all, the Q looks very strong, and if we bring up the stochastic one more time, we can see the stochastic has hooked up and has crossed through the oversold line, so that is a very good sign, because usually when that happens, you end up getting a multi-day follow-through, and that's exactly what I want to see. I just want to get through the first few days first, get a follow-through to the upside, and then I can start worrying about whether, I need to start going short the market, lightening up on some longs, or whatever. But until we get to that point, this is the most important part of it, and it looks like everything is kind of working out pretty good for the most part. Like I said, I would like to see a high above yesterday's closing high, but we could still do that tomorrow and we'd be in really good shape. But the QQQs are looking pretty darn good. Take a look at the spider. We can see the same thing with the spider, and the spider is more encouraging because it is almost to breaking the high from yesterday. We do have that 200 period simple moving average just above it, so hopefully tomorrow we can gap through that. But the stochastic has crossed up through the through the oversold lines, so that is good news for the spider. Take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see the Dow Jones is already doing what I wanted it to do, so that is a very good sign. Hopefully the Dow can pull the rest of the market up, but we would expect some resistance here around 349 and a half or so once we get close to that 200 period simple moving average. But definitely stochastics are showing us that we are headed in the right direction. And taking a look at the IWM, see the IWM, oops, let me get that guy out of the way. He's looking similar to the QQQ, which is what I would kind of expect. But as long as we can break above tomorrow's high, or yesterday's high tomorrow, then I think we are probably going to be in pretty good shape. So as far as this bounce is looking, now there is still some time left in the trading day. So as long as we don't have a complete rollover, I think this is still looking pretty good for a follow-through move to the upside for the rest of the week. All right, well, the strongest sector that I see is energy and oil in particular. And right here I have the ETF for oil, so it's a USO, and we can see the USO has just had a slight pullback from the big run that it had over the last several weeks, and now it looks like it is probably maybe only one more day away from reaching a new 52-week high. So energy just continues to be super strong. And I think if we do end up getting a bottom in the market, even if we don't get a bottom in the market, I think energy is probably going to be leading it. And as I am recording this part of it, I can see that the NASDAQ is selling off on me. So fantastic. So who knows where the NASDAQ is going to end the day. We're in the last hour as I'm recording this. So I was hoping that the NASDAQ was going to end near the high of the day, but if they end towards the lower portion of the day, that is going to throw a wrench in everything. I do think that we still have the odds favor we're still probably going to end the week higher than we were yesterday, but who knows? This market it's traps all over the place. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they sell it off again and they just don't, let anybody out of this market unless you're going to get out at lower prices. But anyway, looking at the USO, we can see that the energy market is still very strong. Take a look at the XOP. See the oil and gas exploration production ETF. We can see this one had a little bit of a pullback over the last 3 or 4 days, but we can see it is already almost all the way back to touching the 52-week high. So, I mean, if this thing just goes up another day, we're probably going to be right at the highs for the year. So it's it could very easily get to a new all-time high. And of course, we take a look at the XLE, which is the Select Energy ETF. We can see this one is almost all the way to new highs already. So, I mean, there's no doubt that this area has the most relative strength in the market. So this is where I am going to be looking to possibly make some more trades, especially if the market continues going higher. I expect this group to definitely be one of the stronger sectors, unless there's just some kind of monkey wrench gets thrown into the price of oil. If something weird happens, in the world that has a detrimental effect on the price of oil, obviously these stocks are going to feel it too. But some of the best stocks in this sector that I am seeing is CLR. This one is almost to a new 52-week high, completing this nice rounded bottom. So this one looks super strong. You need to see how big these up days are the last couple of days. You're in a good uptrend when it takes 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days to make it to a newer low, but then it only takes like 2 days to get right back to a new high. That it just shows you how much strength there is on that part of the market to the upside. Another one that's looking pretty darn good is DMLP. This one's a little bit thinner traded than some of the other ones. Only 85,000 shares traded today, and that is above average volume, so always be mindful of that. But DMLP breaking out to a new 52-week high today, despite the market, the regular market looking like total junk. A lot of these things are still super strong. Next one is Devon Energy. See, Devon Energy is also pretty much breaking out to a new high as well. Same story. Took about 5 days to get down, 2 days to get all the way back up and retrace, all of that ground that it lost. So a lot of people piling into this trade. They see that this thing is the strongest sector in the market. So this is just, positioning going on big time. People trying to get into one of the stronger sectors. Next one is Occidental Petroleum. See, Occidental Petroleum, I traded this one a few days ago. I bought it on this breakout right here, sold a little bit here, sold a little bit more here, and then was stopped out on the rest all right down here. So I ended up making money on the trade, but not as much as I should have, because look at this, 2 days and then boom, right back out to a new high. So I might end up entering Occidental Petroleum again. I haven't done anything in the oil sector as of yet, but man, these things are still super strong. Next one is EOG. Looking at EOG, same story with these things. I mean, just a couple of days and they're right back up to a new 52-week high. So EOG is really strong. ExxonMobil is really strong. Man, this thing is really starting to blast off. After being one of the laggers in this sector, it seemed like forever. It looks like they are taking a leadership role in the current market. Next one is SSL. See SSL blasting out to a new high as well, so just a very strong stock here. And of course, Chevron. Chevron is also, it looks like it's taking a more of a leadership role in this sector, just like ExxonMobil. So these ones that have been some of the biggest names, that are the biggest names in this sector, are really starting to show some strength. Well, let's get into the trade that I made today. All right, so getting into the trades that I made today. Well, first off, I bought some 347 calls on the QQQ that end on a Friday, and I was up quite a bit on them, but now as the market is rolling over, I am down a little bit, but that's all right. I have all the way till Friday, so hopefully the market does bounce and go higher from here. But the only round trip trade I made today was on APM. So this is a day trade in my gap up day trade strategy. I traded on the 5-minute chart. So let's go to the 5-minute chart. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot setting up today. Plus, you know, I was a little preoccupied watching the QQQs and the IWM. So there wasn't a whole lot setting up. But this one I did end up buying. I bought it after it broke this little resistance area right here. Let me see if I can draw it. But I ended up buying it at 10:50 in the morning, so it was a little late in the day for me, and because of that, you know, it wasn't that big of a mover, but I got in at $2.14, and I didn't even close this trade until 12:35, so all the way right here when it came back and stopped me out. I got out at $2.21, so I made about 3% on this trade. I actually had an order to sell it if it had gotten to 229, and it just missed it. It made it all the way up to 227, but I was in this trade for a little bit longer than I wanted to be. You know, I was trying to watch the overall market because I wanted to play some calls instead, so I was kind of going back and forth, but you know, it was only a 3% gain. It could have been a little bit more. It got pretty darn close, but you know, as the stock was moving up, I kept raising my trailing stop to, you know, protect not only my capital but start protecting my gain as it was moving up. And I thought after this little combination right here, it was definitely going to print a nice big green candle and you know, hit my profit target, but for whatever reason, it just ran out of steam, pulled back below that 8-period exponential moving average, and stopped me out. But that was the trade that I made today. Well, that's all I have for this one, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them for me down there in the comments section. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.